You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Celebrity Rehab. Tonight's host is Tamara Berg. Joining Tamara will be AFTERBUZZ co-hosts Courtney Stewart, twins Michelle and Melissa Macedo. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Celebrity Rehab news and gossip. We want to hear from you, too. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 347-855-8269. That's 347-855-8269. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues, Tamara Berg.
Hey there, everybody. Happy,
3rd of July.
3rd of July.
Eve of July
And
4th.
Eve, 4th of July, Independence Eve. And welcome
We're celebrating.
Yeah, Celebrity Rehab, Season 5, Episode 2, Detox. We've got Phil Svitek here with me, Michelle Macedo, Melissa not here, and John Comerford. Are you replacing Courtney, I think,
Absolutely,
maybe
yes,
this week?
Courtney and I are interchangeable.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
I
In
was
many
gonna
ways,
say.
I would agree.
And I just got to say, we're not that drunk. We're not that drunk.
Yeah.
We're not that, yes.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, although Phil was talking about special tests that you can do to determine someone's sobriety. And
Should I just do that right now?
I think you should. I thought that was
All right.
interesting.
So if you're ever with anyone drunk, I don't know if this applies to if like someone has cocaine or any of
certain
that
drugs,
stuff,
or if
but
it's
I do know it works with alcohol. And so what you do, for those of you who are watching this, follow along. For those of you listening, I'll try to do my best to explain. So let's say John, who is across the table from me, is drunk.
I'm not.
wasted.
I am not.
You are certainly not. By the way,
I'm not.
but I love
not.
that I'm using John as a guinea pig because I'm going to soon make another announcement
What's that?
regarding John, but hold off.
Okay.
So John's drunk,
Yes.
and to test how drunk he is, I hold up one finger and tell him to follow it with his eyes.
But
Okay.
you
Now-
have to go really close up
Yeah, you have
So
to
that
put,
you-
not
You
like
can't work across
Yeah.
the table like that.
because your eyes need to like.
So
really
you want to be
follow
a
it.
foot away from his eyes? Or
Yeah,
her
something
eyes?
like that,
Okay.
you
No,
know.
closer.
Closer? Okay.
Yeah, a foot is fine.
A foot or less.
Try to go
a
6.
foot or less.
Yeah, a foot or less.
How
Okay.
many people have you done it to?
8.5 inches.
All right, there you go. Whatever.
Yeah, so
Be close. Now, the point. So obviously, when sober is sober, they can follow an actual movement
Right.
with their eyes. Now,
Right.
when you're drunk, the eye will try to find it because it can't. It can't actually follow
Can't
that
follow
movement.
it, yes.
And so
Can't
the
move that
eyes.
fast.
Yeah, and the eyes will. The more drunk you are, the eyes will bounce quicker.
And
'cause
and
it's-
not following the.
Yeah,
the
it's like
movement.
you ever see those?
like
It's
not
like
be
a
able to
bobblehead.
follow it.
It's a
It's like the bobblehead
yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
You know. So
All
so
right,
there you go. That's the
That
trick.
was like
So
a
you just
really
go like
good
this.
impression.
Exactly.
Do you
How
finger real
How
fast? or-
fast?
or
No,
do you-
How fast do you move your finger?
Finger can be pretty slow.
Oh, okay, but
okay.
they're trying to find it, so they're going all over the
Yeah,
place.
Because I'm
there's
sober and you were
eyes-
doing it across the room to me, and I couldn't even follow your fingers. You were like, "Ah!"
I know you cannot even do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
It's
All right,
good
so
to
we
know.
have that.
fast, but not. Yeah. Okay.
Also,
So-
in terms of like Coke or anything else, it's the same test will work.
All right.
All
Good to
right.
know.
Excellent. Tip.
And if their pupils are dilated, that gives it away.
Good party
So
trick.
this
Usually,
for-
if they're throwing up,
AFTERBUZZ TV exclusive.
There we go.
thank you. If they're in the curb throwing up into their bangs are getting all messed up, then they're probably drunk.
That's true.
And hold their hair.
Yeah.
You maybe don't need to do the test.
Yeah, I think you can skip the
The
test at
eyeball
that
test.
They
point.
might
So-
just have
Wait,
food
look at me.
poisoning.
Stop throwing up. Look at me.
No, then you're putting yourself in the way
Exactly.
of
Oh, yeah.
danger.
The direct line of fire, so to speak. All right. So today,
well, so if you're out there this 4th of July, be safe.
Yes, of course.
Whatever.
Gonna
get
drink, do it responsibly.
Exactly.
Don't
Now,
drive. It's
real
just so not
quickly-
worth it.
I know Tammy's ready to get going.
No, no,
so
that's fine. It's
I'll
fine,
try
it's
to make
fine.
this as quick. No. It's understandable. I'll make this as quick as possible. So first off, we're back on iTunes and
Absolutely.
we're back on
And
Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Yay.
And so I know it's been
Fabulous.
a long time, and the reason why was because we had too many downloads.
Yeah.
Now
We were
We are victims of our own
fabulous.
success.
Exactly.
Exactly. And so we know we've gotten obviously a lot of emails about it. Now we're back, and so you can listen to us. And you know what? I dare you to try to break us again.
Oh, yeah.
If you do that, then I don't think the world is ready for how many people live after
That's
that.
right.
Second off, we have 2 AfterBuzzers of the month here with us. We honor 3.
In the same room.
The first one being Ed Bowling, who was actually hugely responsible for getting us back on iTunes.
That's
But
right.
Yay.
John
Thank you, Ed.
Comerford and Michelle Macedo. John, for his numerous accomplishments, he's got like 800 titles here at AfterBuzz TV, from production designer, host to what else? Carpenter, electrician. I mean, God, that you
Soothsayer.
yeah, you name the job, he does it.
Advisor.
yeah,
And Michelle,
advisor.
Michelle practically lives here. She hosts pretty much every show there is on AfterBuzz
Just
TV.
because I
True.
love AfterBuzz.
It's true.
Only.
And she was very instrumental
Nothing else.
in the
Nothing
MTV
else.
gift suites.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, you know what? Although Tammy is not an AfterBuzzer of the month, she deserves her own credit for. I mean, she did so much for us at the MTV Movie Awards gift suites, on camera and off camera. So you know what? Although,
We got some of the all-stars here in the room, pretty
yes,
much.
indeed.
Right?
Is that what
So,
it is?
yeah,
anyways,
pretty much.
Tammy, on with the show.
All
Hey.
right. Well, the first thing I wanted to say was one of the early images in the show was Michael Lohan reading a Bible, which
I
just
know.
really surprised me.
Yeah, that was a little shock.
I think that was some BS right there.
You think so? Really?
I think he's
What
like
was he
such a
playing to- no.
sleazy guy. He knows he's being
What is he never not
on
playing
camera
for the
all the
cameras?
time.
Is he,
I
is
think
he ever
n-
not playing for the camera?
not that I've seen so far.
I think. I mean, I'm starting to like Michael Lohan. So what the? Why
Lindsay
you got to
Lohan.
rain on my
Okay,
parade?
no, but okay,
No,
John
I-
and Tammy,
Yeah.
can't you tell when someone is just focused on the fact that they're being watched by like the camera?
Well,
if you
I-
see someone on camera, you know when they're really in it and really like in their own zone, or if they're aware that someone is.
Well, I thought he was
watching them.
genuine when he was talking about hitting his kid with the remote or whatever.
That was
he
the
did.
first
thought that
time I
was
saw
genuine.
that.
I don't know
was
if
the
I,
first
I
What
don't
about
know-
the gun story last week? I mean, come on. What do you?
What gun story?
Oh, where he put a gun to his head and, then
Yeah.
and it didn't
and pulled
fire.
the trigger,
and he put
didn't
it down,
fire,
and then
put it down, it fired
then it
across the
fired.
room.
I don't know. That I was kind of 50-50 on that. I don't.
Yeah, he's very.
Or maybe 38.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so anyway, then the next major storyline that we came into was talking to Jennifer, one of the staff members.
Oh, right,
and,
about Jennifer and
and
Steve.
her meltdown about Stephen Adler
Yeah.
coming in, and
The
she's
welts
sitting
on
there
her
with
body. Shelley.
Shelly, and Shelly, Jennifer's like rocking back and forth, looking like
Yeah.
she's going through detox, and Shelly's like, "Okay, honey, looks like you're kind of having a meltdown. Let's talk about it a little bit." And she was really freaking out, and she
You
was
could
going,
totally be Shelly for Halloween. You should totally be Shelly.
I think I should. That's
yeah.
a great
You be
one.
Dr. Drew.
Punky Brewster going to a funeral. That's what I was.
Yeah,
thinking.
exactly.
It's kind of
Really
her,
good.
her fashion statement.
And she's our favorite.
We'll be
Yeah,
your
I'm-
addicts.
Yeah.
I so love Shelly.
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, she's
her.
terrific.
Love
She gets
her.
less screen time though. I'm kind of
Well,
annoyed.
I
with-
don't know. She had decent
Maybe she'll-
screen time, but they're bringing in.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
sorry,
like
what was
to see
name?
her a lot more
what's
often.
the-
Jennifer?
Jennifer, yeah, they're bringing her in. They got to bring her in if Steve's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
moment's
Well,
gotta
for that
happen.
moment, yeah, it's
Yeah.
understandable. Then
Yeah.
for the rest of the show, though, it
Right.
was a lot more of Jennifer versus Shelley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once that moment happened, she's gone, and it was Shelley was there. The rest
Yeah,
of
that's
Oh,
true.
but
You know,
that's
I
not true though.
Yeah.
Jennifer was around.
She always had the one-on-one interview.
Yeah,
camera.
she was
Because
doing the
of the-
she was
today's
doing the intake
episode.
Yeah.
and because of the Steven thing. Where then
Oh, that's because of the Amy thing. Go ahead.
Steven was, they're kind of all sort of milling about in the courtyard, and
Right.
she's, clearly still agitated and still clearly very upset about it. And we see the past season about
Yeah.
her bruises on her legs and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, he comes up and starts talking to her. And I was fully expecting him to start laying a bunch of crap on her.
Yeah, me
Is that what
too.
you were expecting?
Yeah, totally. Total guilt trip. Like, you were the reason you, messed up my life. Like, can't you just get over it?
You
Like,
put
I
me
don't
in
remember
prison.
doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You had the police called on me. And what does he say?
He says, That was
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
one of the
sorry.
best things
And
for
I'm
me.
so sorry.
I'm
yeah.
so
And I'm
sorry.
so sorry. And all I heard was like, do you remember when I was like yelling at you? I was like, you might want to go into more detail there.
Yeah,
buddy,
because that probably happened more than one time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really surprising. And you were saying that Steven Adler is for you.
No, he's this season's Jeff Conaway. It's really hard to understand what he's saying.
Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting? What is that? Does anybody know what that's from? That I mean,
Is
is that drugs?
part of
Is
his speech
that
Part of
impediment,
like
or is that damage
motor
he's done to
reflex.
himself?
I think it's a damage for sure.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Conaway was damaged.
And
Yeah,
you know,
they
we-
just
of
had
course,
us
we're
slurry.
sorry Jeff Conaway passed away this past year, so we're sorry about that. We're
Yeah.
not speaking to that part of it. We're just
yeah.
making the combination.
No, but
correlation.
you know, they're brain damaging themselves. Like it's brain
Yeah,
damage.
that's what it seems like, because
So sad.
he's got some sort of strange speech pattern going on there that I can't quite figure out at the moment. It's
Well, there was this drug that
That's
all the
it.
girls.
Yeah, it's mumbling. It's
Yeah.
not really
or is
articulating.
it because all the rock music has damaged his hearing so much?
It's that
now
damn rock. It's Simon and Garfunkel. All the kids are listening to it.
Sound of Silence would be nice. Right about now.
Evil. Well, there's this drug that all the girls were doing when I was in high school, and it was called Triple C, which means that you basically just like try and give yourself an overdose and a bunch of heart medication, and so then you hallucinate. I know.
Fun.
And so
What a
then,
party.
of course, when you've taken too much, there's like a perfect amount you could take. But if you take too much of originally what you were
happened
going
to
to
you
take too
when
much
you
of,
took too much?
well, when you took too much, that was the goal. When you took too much,
Yeah.
then one of my friends had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm asking what happened to you when you took too
What
too
happened
much?
to you?
Oh,
when
I'm not saying that I did it. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, I beg your
I'm
pardon.
just saying when the
I
other
misunderstood
girls.
you then.
No, one of the other girls.
Yeah, she didn't
okay.
say I.
So remember
she said
that
the
she was
girls.
But
just
there were
asking
holes
you,
in her
wasn't she
brain.
just asking when we know somebody is BSing and when they aren't?
Okay, wait, no, that's not the right thing.
But she had holes in her brain. Like her brain was already
Really did the MRI and they could actually see the physical
holes. That's what.
Whoa.
That's what.
Wow.
Damn.
A lot of damage.
Holes in your
She did
brain?
it all
And,
the time.
Dennis
Wow.
Rodman. Did anybody watch the season
Yeah,
when Dennis
I did.
Rodman was
Yeah.
on, and Dr. Drew was talking about how it seemed like he had a lot of cognitive problems.
Well, they did call
and-
him the worm, and
and he's got wormholes in his
well,
brain.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's what they were finding. They did like MRIs and found that he had significant dead spots in his brain. Or I don't know if it's dead spots is the right word, but significant parts of his brain that were not operating as they should.
That is so
Well,
scary.
You know what? All right, so I'm going to demystify something here.
Bring it.
Bring on
well,
the music predictions.
No, well, here's the thing, right? People always tell you only use 10% of your brain. Yes,
Right.
Right.
That's
That's the load of crap. It just is.
That's how
because
much of
you're
your brain you
speaking to
use.
Because
what
you're so
scientific
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
'Cause
sorry.
he
What
knows
percentage do you use?
he
Phil?
You use
uses
10%, but he uses 90.
he uses a
No, but-
whole
but-
lot more.
But here's the thing, right? The brain doesn't like pick 10% of how to use. There's literally, I mean, all right, yep, laugh it up, yep.
Sorry,
'Cause
but like
but-
based on
but-
like
but
what
wait a
a
minute, make your
neurologist.
point.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Druggy.
what's your point?
No, the point is that the way memory works is it signals all across the brain.
Sure.
And so if whether you do alcohol or other drugs, you're cutting off those certain signals.
Sure.
And
Those
therefore you're
pathways,
killing your brain cells.
And you're like overdoing it. Like when you take E, your brain, sends off the amount of chemicals. When you eat a cheeseburger, it sends off the amount of chemicals that's like, oh, that's good. I like that. But E, since it's like so much of the time, then all the normal things that are supposed to give you like happiness and feelings of like satisfaction, they're just burnt out. They can't
So
work
is this what
anymore.
happens to you on E?
Yeah,
And by the way, the last thing, the reason why
I'm
also
on it right now.
drug addicts or whatever, obviously it disrupts your sleep pattern, right?
Yeah.
Now, long-term memory is kind of formed with REM sleep because people say, oh, dreaming is like blah, blah, subconscious and all that crap. It's really your mind formulating. No, it's your mind process. It's like a
Play the thing about these are not the views.
Yeah,
The views here are
Wait a
not.
minute. He's got
No,
his, okay.
no, it's
He has an
your
opinion.
mind is taking all your thoughts of that day and organizing it and shuffling it. Now,
Right.
yeah, that's where all the weird crap comes from when, in the day you thought about horses and then you thought about what you're eating for dinner and then you thought about
Eating horses for dinner.
Then horses,
Exactly. And,
dinner eating horses.
And so when you don't have a normal sleep pattern, then yeah, these thoughts can't actually be processed correctly.
filed to the
Yeah,
right place.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Okay, so does this tie back to the 10% of your brain thing? Is
yeah,
that-
because we're always using all of our brain, and so therefore, if you're inhibiting that even further
I
with
beg to
drugs,
differ. I mean, how many people do we know of who really only use about 10% of their brain?
I mean, probably many.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
there you go.
Let's
But I'm
think
just
about
saying.
that.
So I just have I have one question for you, Phil. Is basically unless you came up with it, is it all crap?
What's
'Cause,
that?
Any theory, any scientific study, any
No, there
Just
there are
teasing you.
actual scientific studies
I'm just teasing.
about the cognitive
when he
memory.
was in neurology school,
Yeah.
this was something
No, I'm
that
just
he.
kidding.
I
I'm
didn't
calling
actually
you
take
out.
neurology. You know what? I
No,
have.
but you've read a
Guess
lot,
what?
and you've
I'm gonna do the AfterBuzz TV Brain Edition, and I'm
Nice.
gonna bring all of my
What?
slides, and I do have slides.
Visual aids.
I believe it.
And
Well,
guess
that's
what? I
cool.
had to. I mean, this was the toughest class I've ever taken in my life. I mean, I went to a school for art, right?
Right.
And when I say art, like literally art, we just did film and all that. And math was a joke.
We
kind
didn't
of
even
had to take
have
this pre-work.
math.
But this class, I was like studying to be a neurologist. I kid you not. The amount of stuff I had to know. So yeah, I could give a
Okay.
damn good speech.
Or
about
we
that.
can call my
I look
uncle
forward to
who's
it.
a neurologist.
I do
We
too.
I will
should
be
do
at
that.
that seminar.
I just want to know if I can drink wine or take E or something like that while I'm doing
I
it.
think
Yeah.
we should
Is that
institute something
allowed?
as we watch Celebrity Rehab. Whenever somebody says,
Yeah, we should have a drinking
we
game.
should have a drinking game.
Oh my God.
When everybody does something they go into some sort of denial, we should drink.
We'll all be drunk by the time we have to do the
When
AfterBuzz.
when anybody
That's a
says
terrible
I'm
idea.
tired,
And I think there's something to doing the after buzz.
buzzed.
Yes.
yeah,
After the Celebrity Rehab, I think we should do that. I mean,
that's such a
Nausea.
good
Maybe
idea.
maybe we'll
Nausea.
do that for the finale for graduation day, and
I'm
we'll just
Yeah.
getting
test
ripped
it.
right now.
That's right. Nausea and vomiting will be typical,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
as is
exactly.
common with these
Right.
guys.
Exactly, especially on the second, third day of rehab,
Exactly.
detox.
Of
Excuse me.
detox, yeah. So we
Irritation.
go to Bai Ling, who's lying in bed. Wow, she was the star of this week's show.
She's
I
a piece of
think.
work.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm
you
got
gotta
to
take it step by
I'm
step.
a little bit tired, and it gets to the point.
yeah.
Dr. Drew doesn't come to people's bedrooms generally in the show, and so he's got me to her bedroom. She's like, "I'm a little bit dizzy. I'm a little bit tired. Well, have you eaten anything? No, I don't want it." And she's just crying.
I haven't eaten
and
for 3 days. I don't know
sobbing,
why
and-
I don't have it.
I know.
So
She's
I'm-
wondering
I'm
why
hoping
she's emotional.
her eating disorder issues are going to be
Yeah,
coming up at
maybe-
some
yeah,
point
maybe
during
that
this
is part of
because I'm sure that's part of it.
I mean, is there anything to? Is she trying to be noble by saying, "Hey, no, I won't take any medication. I want to be
No.
completely drug free"?
She's obviously a child. She wants attention. She just wants attention. Obviously, no one gets up on the roof or says they're from the moon unless they want attention.
And what is it? The taking her nameplate off the door. What is that supposed
And
to
she's, like,
signify?
taking it
running
with her
around.
to the moon.
Because she's taking
She
it
wants
back
put
to
it
the moon
back
with
in
her.
her own bedroom.
Her home planet
What-
is
what
calling
is
her
that?
home.
What
I don't
I'd
know.
like to
You're a
know is,
screenwriter, John. What is so symbolic about taking your nameplate off?
I won't participate in this, even in name only. I don't know.
I don't want it even known that I was here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm taking everything about me. The only thing I have is my name, so I'm taking it with me. I don't know the symbology.
She wants to feel important. She wants to feel like if she does leave, which she's just threatening or
Yeah.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then that will affect people. And if people don't care about her,
What
then
I was
like
thinking is, she's up there on the roof. Did you notice there's a broom up there
Yeah.
on the roof, and there are leaves?
Well,
I'm
she
going,
was
hey, she's up
cleaning.
there.
she's
Might
trying
as well
to do
put her to
something
use.
nice.
Well, and there was a ladder that
Yeah.
Shelley was using to get up there. I can assume that,
Yeah,
that
maybe
Bai
by
Ling used the
I don't
same
know if
ladder.
she's strong enough to get the ladder up there.
Well, that's
No.
what I'm
She hadn't
wondering.
eaten
What
in
about
3
the
days.
food and the medication?
Yeah, she's supposed to be taking some medication to help her through the withdrawals, I assume.
Oh, what kind of food do they get? Have we ever seen the food?
Yeah, we
No,
have.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen
yes,
it.
we have seen them. We see them at breakfast kind of a lot.
Yeah, it
because there's a
looks
lot of
good.
stuff that goes on during breakfast time.
Like fruit.
I mean, it looks like your basic,
toast.
like buffet. They
Yeah.
put out. There are all kinds of things that they have for food.
So she
Food-
has no
food
reason
looks
to
not bad.
bitch.
No, she
Get
doesn't.
over it. Food's
I
good.
mean,
Really.
it's
Yeah.
definitely not the fact that the food is bad. It's definitely within her.
Every time I watch her, I always have to try to maintain my compassion.
Compassion, exactly.
Because I really want to just go, "Look, get
Come
over
on.
it. Quit being such a baby and, grow up.
I
Well,
can
but when
feel
it-
that.
But I know
from,
she's gone through whatever
your
trauma, and I know
presence.
that I'm going to feel horrible when I find out what it is.
Right.
And, okay, I shouldn't have given her such crap. But it just drives me crazy right now. It's like, get off the roof.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
off the roof.
because you like people to be real, and you like people to.
And she seems completely insincere and
Well, and
inauthentic.
Dr. Drew actually talked about that when he was doing that eye check. Now that was not he
no,
wasn't
that was the
he
two-finger test,
yeah,
not the
and
one
he
finger
wasn't
test.
but I wondered what
Which
he
is
was.
a totally different thing. Please, let's not demonstrate that.
No, I was wondering what he was trying to figure out because it was like he was trying to look at the whites of her eyes.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
it
noticed
does-
something
it
there, like
did
the
look
color
like
or
that.
something
And
was
he,
off.
and he
or-
said, "That's weird. I don't know what that is."
Yeah. Yeah.
But the other thing that he said was that she was exhibiting unusual thinking.
Yeah.
Wh-
Definitely.
You know, I've never heard him say anything like that before.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean,
so-
it is unusual to go. I'm not just. And I don't know. She said she was weak, but she felt weird. But haven't eaten for 3 days, and she can't put the two together.
Right. Well, again, that's what I think. I think part of that ties to an eating disorder. and,
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Could
You know,
be.
but
I mean, I don't know if
also
she has one.
just he had her on what antipsychotic medicine? Is that what he said? It
I
was?
have no idea what it
Or
was.
some
I can't
sort of
remember the name of it.
Some medicine that she should be
Yeah.
taking.
Yeah.
But by the way, he gave a very
Obviously.
good answer when when the nurse said like she doesn't want to take it. I don't want to force it upon her.
Yeah.
I forget the whole quote.
She said Bai Ling came in here to get clean, and he said, no, she came in here to get care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
That's
And-
it.
and
She
that's
said she wanted to
absolutely
be
right.
med
And,
free.
You know, this is what's crazy is why this. I don't know who she was, if she was a nurse or whatever. I can't.
She
remember
was
who
a nurse. I think her name was Sasha.
But
Yeah.
why would you defer to a patient's medical judgment about
right over the doctor.
care over a doctor's who's done this before? And
Yeah,
Bai Ling
exactly.
hasn't exhibited the history or the experience to know what would really be best for her.
That's true. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Definitely
I
true.
don't really care what
Lapse
she
in
said.
judgment on Sasha's part, probably.
Yeah, I don't
maybe,
care,
maybe she
yeah.
was just trying to explain
And
what
this is the
she
other thing
figured
that-
Bai Ling was doing.
The other thing that bugs me about the Bai Ling thing, I hate the special cases. Oh wait, just everything will be fine if you just leave, and then there won't be a problem. Okay, 10 minutes, and there's there's
next
such a special
time.
case. I'm different than everybody else.
Exactly.
I don't need to go. And
Special
I'm like,
treatment.
No, it's called group therapy for a reason.
Because
It's
the whole
group.
goes.
So shut
Everybody
up,
else
get out of
goes.
bed and get there.
I could see you exercising your
That's what I
compassion.
would be. I
right
mean,
now.
that's
right.
and that's
This
one
is
of the
why
things that I
this is
think.
why I couldn't be a counselor.
No, I
know,
agree.
me either. I think that's one of the differences between like Jennifer and Shelley. And if you guys haven't seen something like the Sober House episodes and
I
things
didn't
like
see
that, Jennifer is a real hardcore rule person.
Yeah,
You
super.
know, she got into fights with lots of people over rule. I think Dennis Rodman was one of the people she got in fights with over in Sober House. And she's really all about the rules. And I know rules are incredibly important in rehab and
It helps.
structure.
Yeah, it gives them
all of that stuff really helps these people. And I think that Shelley has a great gift in maintaining the rules while letting some of these people who think they're special cases feel like they're not being ruled by the rules, if that makes sense, which apparently it doesn't. I mean, Jennifer just goes, look, I need your phone by 9:30. That's it. That's
Yeah.
over. Da-da-da-da. And Shelley has this way of kind of finessing things
Yeah.
and talking to people and I don't know if it's just that she comes from compassion in such a wonderful way, or she's very sympathetic, or she's, uses different vocal tones or whatever it is, but she has a way of being with these people
Yeah.
that it's a little more like the, flies with honey.
Yeah,
thing.
and I completely agree with you on the Shelley part. The thing that bothers me is that one of the reasons why they're in the trouble that they're in is because nobody has held them to a standard.
You're right.
Nobody has made them honor their commitments and do what they're supposed to do. And
You're
the whole
right.
idea of having rules isn't necessarily because we want to contain you or control you. It's to say, no, this is a standard you have to meet. This is a behavior that you have to start modeling, because the ones that you have been modeling suck and
Yeah.
get you into trouble.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
What you've done to this point is not working.
Exactly.
Well,
It's-
and I completely agree with you about the whole special case thing. And you and I would have, I think, similar methodologies with dealing with these people, which is why neither of us is a counselor. But I just really admire Shelley in her ability to get things done in just a way that I don't get it, and I
Yeah.
would love to, be able to
No,
figure
she's-
her
I
out
mean,
a little bit.
I think she's amazing
outstanding at what she
Yeah,
does.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure it helps having been through the process.
Yeah, no
before.
kidding.
Yeah.
No
But she
kidding.
listens to them and she asks them what's wrong. Jennifer is more like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, and I'd be more like Jennifer. I would.
I mean, I totally
Not sure it's the
understand
best
that,
way.
especially you're dealing with all these people and in Sober House, they can actually go out and leave,
Uh-huh.
and then they have to have a
there are
curfew.
all-
But
consequences
but I
of-
gotta ask, which one do you think? I mean, even though Shelley's effective in some, which one is actually do you think is better? Because one is actually no.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I like the idea that you have to hold the standard and you have to hold the line, and this is the way it's done here. Out in the world, when you have it any way you want it, that's what gets you into trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So here, this is how we run the game. If you don't want to run the game this way, go play
You don't
somewhere
have to
else.
be here. Yeah.
But this is how we do it here.
So who do you think is better?
Well, I don't. I think what happens is when people do, oh, this give me 10 minutes. Let me do the. All they're doing is pushing the boundary. They're just moving it down the road. They're
They
seeing how
want
much
that
they can get away
structure,
with.
yeah.
So then they're
That's
going to
it.
get away with this, and then they're going to get away with that, and that's what leads them down a bad path.
Right.
It's especially with those people that you have to go, no, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Well, and so Shelley went in there and said, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
7:30 is wake up. Group's not at 7:30.
Right?
Group's at 8 or 8:30. It appears to me.
Yeah.
So
She gave her 10 minutes, and I don't know when that happened. I don't know when if she was going to be 10 minutes late. I don't know what
yeah.
if she's going to be late for group or not. All I know is, give me 10 minutes. She gave her the 10 minutes, and look at the price that she paid. In that 10 minutes, what did Bai Ling do?
She went on
Got
the
up,
roof.
ripped out the thing, got on the roof.
She probably would have done that anyway
Might have,
because they gave her
but they
alone
gave her
time.
the
She has
room
to
to do that.
She has to like get her stuff together and stuff. But in life, she's gonna have that freedom, and she's gonna have to learn to discipline herself.
Yeah, she has to learn to.
And I
But
think
until
it
that
has
point-
to do with the individual. Some people shut down if
Yeah.
they're talked to like the way Jennifer is. Some people respond to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people, like Shelley, I think like she uses with
Well, here's the thing.
certain
For the
people, she's more like sympathetic and like
The people that don't respond to
listening.
Jennifer, again, I mean, you get no sympathies. You just, okay, then you never had it to begin with.
well,
That's it.
I think
Well-
everyone just feels like ignored or they themselves like make them they feel like they're not important and stuff. So I think
And
And
here's
that-
a
well, that
secret,
could
so does the
Shelley
rest of
makes
the world.
them
You
feel-
don't
Yeah,
have
but
to be sober or
right, but obviously these people
But I think,
are addicts.
if I may, I
so.
think the point he's making is that may push them deeper into their psychosis.
Yes, that's
and deeper
exactly what I
into
mean.
their addiction. Whereas, why I think that it's effective to have both people, or not just both people, but different kinds of techniques and
Yeah.
tactics and strategies, is that it's not one isn't going to work for everybody. So it's helpful to have more than one way to approach things. It's nice if one person can do it, so then they can read what's going on with that person. What is their particular way of getting out of it? Like that, I think that's when Dr. Drew asked Doc, "So are you bullshit people?"
Yeah, that was
I mean,
funny.
he's like right at it because he already knew that he BS'd with the
I
drug
know,
test
like-
and all that other stuff. So if you know the strategies that they employ to stay in their addiction and keep out of being responsible,
Then
then
you
you
can
can
work
adapt
with it.
yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Okay, so we had group therapy then. at
Yeah,
the-
that was a
at
good
the-
group.
No, I don't mean that. I mean then in the show we went to group therapy,
I always liked the group therapy.
and it was Bob and Dr. Drew running the
Bob with
group.
his hat on.
Love
Bob.
them.
Love
And the
Bob.
question was, why did they come here?
That was a good
Steven
question.
answered that. Yeah, he said he was doing marijuana maintenance. Is what I thought that was a
Nice.
really funny thing
Marijuana
that he would say.
Mm-hmm.
But like Dr. Drew said, it signaled the same things
Same
in his
places
brain,
in his brain.
that he would just go back to it.
That's it.
But like I said, he seems like a nice guy when he's not high.
Screwed up, right?
Right? He can't talk exactly, but yeah, he has a little trouble speaking. But
Right now, he's
Maybe
I
that'll
think-
improve the
I
longer
find
he's
it
off
hysterical
drugs.
every time he talks.
He's
You know what? Maybe he can learn sign language and do something positive in that regard with deaf kids.
I saw in when they were showing the episodes from last year, whatever.
Yeah.
He does know some sign language. I actually saw.
Oh, really?
oh,
Just
maybe
one
then
particular
he.
sign?
Yeah, one particular sign he knows very well.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
And he does it with both hands. So that's.
Oh right.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that was good of him. So everyone
Doubling
could
down.
understand. Exactly.
So Lohan talks about his dad,
Yeah, his dad. And
you know, and
having to fetch him out of a bar.
fetch him out of a bar. Now, not that some of us haven't had to do that, but is that just me? Okay.
Yeah, you
No,
like.
we
you
just
had-
went to bars. No,
Yeah, that's true.
no. What we used to
You
do
never.
is
Yeah, you had to fetch. Come on, let's go.
no, we just have to sit on the steps because
That's
they
right, you
wouldn't
guys-
let kids in
That's
bars.
right.
Right? Parents are like, we're gonna go in and have a drink. Okay, see you later. We'll be here on the steps. And my sister and I would play, Cat's Cradle or whatever. It wasn't
Yes,
sad at all.
Cat's
It actually
Cradle.
wasn't. It was fun.
Yeah, but your dad and mom didn't get drunk.
No. And now kids can go into places
they
where they
can.
serve alcohol and
They just let him wait outside, and I
think this was in
no
Washington
parent,
State when I
no
was.
parent would let the kid wait outside now.
No, not
Never
at all.
leave your kid
It was
unattended.
a different time back then when I was little. And then he recounted the story of how he threw the remote control at his 8-year-old son.
Talk about repeating. I mean,
I know.
How is that?
That's really sad. And that's totally like the more he's doing drugs, the more he's not changing his patterns and avoiding it, the more he's going to be like his dad.
Yep.
Which that was obviously a wake up call. How long ago was that?
20 years maybe.
Yeah, I would guess. I
Okay.
mean, if his
Yeah.
son's
Then
probably
whatever
somewhere.
happened like after that?
No, but the other thing that I thought was incredibly heartbreaking was that he said his son still reminds me of that,
Still remembers it.
Still remembers it rather, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you don't forget things like that. I mean, there are plenty of things that happen.
Really?
You just always keep it.
It's true.
So then Amy Fisher talks a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was the connection between her and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Which again, group is always interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Things
fascinating.
come up that just
Which
Well,
is
like
why
you
group
said,
is so
yeah.
effective.
things come up that you just never would think would
Because
come
most of them
up.
think they're alone and different, and nobody understands them and all that other stuff. And
Or
then
that they're special.
oh yeah, and then they
Well,
realize,
Bai Ling.
oh wow, it does happen to other people, and maybe I'm not alone.
Yeah. I have a question about Amy Fisher, and is it an accent, or is
Or
it
it's the
something
Botox
else?
injection.
Or the
maybe
nose
Botox
surgery.
injection or the nose surgery. But she has a little bit of a baby talk thing that really drives me crazy.
Yeah, she does.
She talks about her feelings and how willy things are and very
didn't
and
wanna
willy.
say
Yeah.
It's really subtle. And like I said, I can't tell if it's maybe a surgery thing or maybe an accent thing, or because I think adults who speak in baby talk, that's a big issue right there. There's
Yeah, they don't want to grow up.
yeah. And so did nobody else notice
I
that?
did notice that.
You did?
I assumed it was like the accent, I guess. But her and Lohan, Michael?
Michael?
They have the same accent. And so then maybe I was thinking that it is a weird thing. I was like, that's annoying. Like, what is that? And now that you said it, that's exactly what it was. Maybe it's the accent, and that she just never dealt with it.
I think we should just kind of keep an eye on that and potentially talk about that again another
See
time.
how it
But
develops.
yeah, I mean, I thought it sounded
Maybe
like
as
baby
she
talk.
goes through this process, that baby talk will lessen. Because now
that
she's
would be
becoming a
interesting.
Exactly.
grown-up.
Who knows?
Right.
That'd
Well,
be
you talk about it often that that people are stay in their
Yeah, they stay at the age that
development
they're-
stops at their social, sometimes and psychological development stops at the time when
The
a
trauma.
particular trauma
Yeah.
occurred, and
Who
so
knows when it was.
maybe she was a baby. And
She was 16.
Yeah, she was. She
Well,
was
Well,
really
she
young.
wasn't baby
I'm
talking
sure there
when
was
she
something that
16.
happened before that,
Yeah,
which led her
exactly.
into that.
Yeah.
Well, something
Yeah.
happened before that, which created the whole
Yeah, this is what
situation.
we're saying.
Yeah,
Exactly.
when she was 16,
Yeah.
and she also said that, like, she said it struck me when she said that something about her being sexy, and everyone just knows her as being
Sexy or pretty.
and that kind of confused me because that's not really what people know her for being,
Yeah.
Right.
and that is actually a weird
Association. She makes
yeah.
that leap from actually we don't
from
know
like
you
being
about that.
sexualized, yes, but not in a societal accepting. Oh my God, she's so hot way.
Right.
And that's super inappropriate. Ew, to think of her sexually was like generally gross
Right.
because the older man
Mm-hmm.
thought of that. So that I thought that was really weird.
But that's probably what she's referring to, is because she was given the nickname Long Island Lolita,
Yeah,
which
so
is
that is
it
sexualized.
is a
Very
sexualized situation, and so it might be that she was talking about. But yeah, I think of her as somebody who committed a crime and that sort of thing. I've never thought of her as being sexy. So
Yeah, and
That's-
maybe
that's maybe a
in porn
disconnect
and
for
so
her.
stuff.
hot.
But no,
Especially
you
with
ever
the
see those
gun.
movies
Okay. Oh,
where,
yeah, you like
where
the eyeshadow?
criminals are
Gun.
sexy? Right?
What's that?
Where the
have I
crim-
ever seen movies where criminals are sexy?
Oh,
Yes, I
sure.
have,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
if they're
I don't
not
think that's
that
what
kind
she's
of
I don't
criminal.
think that's what she's talking about, though.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
We just went there.
Okay.
All right.
So then
you
we
like
meet
the
Dwight
eyeshadow
Gooden.
too. So.
Yeah, and I like Doc. I mean, I remember him when I was a kid, and when he was playing ball and everything.
Wait,
like
what
that.
team did he play for?
Mets.
Mets.
And I remember watching him and liking him, and I was actually old enough to remember when he got kicked out and was really disappointed.
How
And I
many-
wasn't even a Mets fan, but I thought it was great that this 17-year-old was a phenom. I mean,
That's
he was
amazing.
older than I was, but it was amazing that at 17 he was in the big leagues and doing great.
How many years did he play? Do you know? I mean, was it like
10.
a decade?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
That's so crazy.
It's a relatively short period of time for somebody who started so young.
Yeah, and it was, it's almost like Darryl Strawberry. I mean, that's the other guy.
I mean, most
Baseball.
baseball players now go into their 40s, right?
Well, they can, yeah, because it helps to have HGH.
No kidding, right? Let's just
Have
talk to
what?
Jeremy about that one. Human growth hormone.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
does help. That probably does
yeah,
help.
I'm sure that does.
But then he obviously was introduced to coke thanks to the guy that did that.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
Nice,
so
nice.
Good
great.
idea.
And still using it and lying about it.
Yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
You
He had
failed
it
the
in his
drug
system.
test.
And getting a
Exactly.
car accident, getting in
Yeah.
a car accident with his
But-
kid.
I'm gonna
That's
blame.
cool.
I'm gonna blame the family on this one.
Which family?
Okay.
Whose family?
His family.
His,
Okay.
His,
'Cause
the
they-
For forgiving
family
him.
that he
Yeah.
grew
His
up with, or
wife
the family?
and his wife and kids. Do you mean, or his
I
parents?
guess it's both.
He
I don't
said
care.
he left
Okay.
his family for cocaine.
Yes.
And are
he
you
did
talking
say
Okay,
about
but
that?
wait. Let me see how. Okay, make the.
No, well,
make
the fact of
case.
he's making his whole thing of like I messed up, I got and I went to jail, blah blah, his whole life story, and I thought, okay, that's it. And then he's like, and then I got into a car accident with my kid. He didn't have a seatbelt on, and they've forgiven me for that. He just like brushed it aside after that. Oh, they've forgiven me.
Yeah. What,
So I'm saying it was not right for them to forgive him for the first incident.
That's true.
And certainly not for the second incident.
I disagree. That forgiving
I was,
him.
I was
doesn't have-
hoping we were going to get into this.
doesn't
I
have
this on my
anything to
list.
do with whether or not what choices he made. Forgiveness doesn't have any bearing on what he does after that.
Isn't dependent upon it.
No, he's not dependent upon that. Yeah, one forgives so that I forgive you, so I move on. What you do with it is your business. I can't control you. I couldn't control you before that. I can't control you after the forgiveness. But if I hold you in contempt, if I have bitterness for you, that eats me. That doesn't have any effect on you.
Well, do you
So-
think that do you think that he's pushing off the responsibility of doing it because he thinks like, oh, well, they've forgiven me, so I don't have to feel bad about it anymore?
I don't think so at all. I didn't
No,
get
I think
that
it
at
made
all
it feel
from him.
worse.
Mm.
They've forgiven me and they've moved on, and I can't forgive myself because I
Yeah.
think he feels bad. He feels horrible about himself enough that he's still gonna beat himself
Continue
up over the
to
incident.
use and
Absolutely.
as he has.
Because he's not even worthy of their forgiveness.
Yeah, I can't ever imagine doing that and having like your kids or your wife or whatever being able to forgive you. That would just be so intense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be like mad about it forever.
But yeah, but let's say they really did forgive him, and I have no reason to doubt that they didn't.
Well, he is a people pleaser.
Well, it could be, but they've reached a point in their lives where they're able to have that spiritual awareness and involvement in order to forgive. That's an amazing thing to have in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of participating that and taking advantage of that in a good way, you're still going to hold yourself responsible, which you should, but won't forgive yourself so that you can't move on. What an insult to the people who have forgiven you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait a minute, buddy, come on.
Okay, so Phil, let's talk a little bit more about why you think they should never have forgiven him.
No, I would have, to be honest with you, I would have guilt tripped the heck out of that guy. Like, oh, yep, all right, go do your cocaine again. Yep, see how many of us other kids you
But
can hurt.
then, how is that ever going to work? It never works. Guilt tripping anybody doesn't.
Yeah, how do you get out of that?
They're just gonna
And sometimes it makes it worse. Yeah.
So then the other thing that Dr. Drew talked about was that he has an amazing amount of guilt and an amazing amount of shame, which is
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
And the challenge was going to be for Dwight Gooden to forgive himself.
Yeah.
And, you've talked about that a little bit. So how do you go about doing that? Because I think that's probably a problem for a lot of these people.
Well, if you're going to play the game, you have to play it all the way through. The game that he's playing is, I shouldn't have done this. But he doesn't play it all the way through, meaning,
Explain that.
Well, they all, I did this, I'm a horrible person, da-da-da-da. Yeah, but there's plenty of other good things that he has done, but he's only listening to all the crap that he did. The only thing he gives him, the only thing he
gives merit to.
Yeah, he gives merit to is what he did wrong.
Right.
Because he never, until now, he never let himself stop. Because doing it and feeling bad about it you do that, but it still won't change the fact that you still like do cocaine.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
So how I could understand why he wouldn't feel good about himself. Obviously.
Absolutely, and the reason why he's probably doing cocaine is he doesn't feel good about himself.
Yeah.
So
you
uncover you start looking at why you made those
yeah,
choices.
you got to be objective about it and go, okay, all right, I did this. Take responsibility for it. Don't get into blame. Like, don't use it as a bludgeon to beat the crap out of yourself.
But I think this might be part of where you're coming from, Phil, is that when his family forgave him, he was let off the hook. And so also if he forgives himself, and forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, but that's what I know. I've heard from a lot of people. That's why people have such an issue with forgiveness. So if I forgive myself, then I'm letting myself off the hook, and I'm no longer responsible for what I did. That's the thought that I think some people have.
I disagree.
About that.
I don't share that form of forgiveness. I don't think forgiving somebody takes them away from being responsible
and accountable
for what occurred.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you forgive them of that transgression doesn't mean that you forget what they did, doesn't mean that you don't hold them responsible, doesn't mean that you don't actively participate in making sure that they make commitments so they never do it again.
And I think I think that's the problem though. I think that people forgive in a very basic level,
like
not to how you're explaining it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if all people did that, then okay, I might have a different perspective.
Right.
And the way you presented it, yeah, I agree with that. But I don't think people do that.
Because they're only using 8% of their brains. Because they're forgiving in an incomplete way, sort of, right?
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, you don't help an addict by not making them take responsibility.
Right.
You don't do that. You don't.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
Yeah. I'm sure being an addict, you would maybe tell yourself that it's not your responsibility anymore, and then like take all these drugs and stuff and avoid it. And here he's gonna have to deal with that guilt.
Right.
Same with Michael Lohan, which I feel like he's a lot else to be guilty for. But
Yeah, and in dealing with that guilt, you have to really face all all of it. You have to look at all of it.
Well,
that's
why they all do that inventory. You got to take an inventory.
Yep.
What am I really responsible for?
Yep.
What did I cause?
Yeah. Can't make excuses.
Freaking accountability.
But I can, because I'm not in rehab.
I'll drink to that. Okay. So Amy starts having a flip out about the cameras.
Yeah, the cameras.
I can't handle the cameras. I can't have what they suddenly materialize on day 4.
People do that all the time.
You get no sympathy. You know that you signed on for this.
Exactly. It's not. It's just. Exactly.
Yeah, it was a typical avoidance, blaming other situations for what's going on with me.
What was it that Dr. Drew said? He said it's a way for her to avoid distract from feeling the negative feelings she has. She just lashes out at something else.
Yes.
So she doesn't have to feel that.
Yeah, so it's like not her fault.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe it's probably, I don't know, like even worse because of all the media attention that she got based on this like really negative thing that happened to her.
Yeah.
And maybe again, that situation is happening.
Right.
So maybe that's.
No, I get it. It was a trigger and everything.
It.
But look, that happened, I don't know how long ago. You're an adult now. I mean,
she's an adult film star.
Well, yeah.
She
I mean,
is.
she's obviously making bad choices. I get all that stuff. But at some point, you got to take responsibility for your life. It's not. You can't be about the paparazzi or this or that or this or whatever.
She's really into blaming everybody else for her situation.
Blaming everyone.
And Dr. Drew said it, and I agree with him. It's sad that happened to her.
It is. It's horrible.
All of it is terrible. But she can't just keep blaming the media for painting her as a terrible person, because for a little while she was a terrible person. Sorry.
Yeah, she did.
Granted, she was
horrible thing.
She was, young and didn't have a developed enough brain to be able to figure out, how to deal with a situation. She probably has other stuff going on with her that was, as we already talked about, happened to her when she was younger. But that's not what drove you to do drugs. It's not that, there's a whole lot going on. It's not their fault.
The media didn't make her do anything. I mean, they didn't force her. They didn't hold it up to her physically.
According to her, the media ruined her life.
Well, yeah,
she
and
had
nobody
nothing to
else
do
will
with
hire her for any other thing.
That was another one that I was really, come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
But, I thought it was nice of Drew, because I would have expected, I would have almost wanted him to say, yeah, right. You couldn't get any other job.
He never says the things the way you or I would. He never does.
No. Even if you think he's going to say it like that.
And I'm sure he might have thought that. Maybe he did. I don't know. But let's say he did. But that wasn't the time to deal with that issue, because there were bigger issues and more important issues to deal with. And, you're just going to entrench somebody at that point. by telling him that you could have got something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
wouldn't have
because
helped.
that's kind of a surface issue. There's a lot more to deal with.
Yeah,
Get to
and-
the underlying issue about why you feel like you.
But I loved one of the things that she said. I have a headache. Really? You have a headache? Yeah, I've never thought so much before.
I know. I saw it too. I was like,
It's like,
wow.
Yeah, welcome to rehab. No TV.
I know. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
She never thought about
That's
anything so
Yeah.
much for in
There's
her
gonna be
life.
a lot more thinking going on.
Even
for
when she
poor
was
Amy.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough to think
You would
about.
think she would have had time to think while she was in prison, but
Yeah.
maybe it was. Well, clearly she had.
Okay, at 16, ladies, were you so boy crazy, and I use the term advisedly, that you might have shot a girl because
It
she
never
took your
even would
guy?
have occurred to me.
Absolutely.
Would you go? But you would have gotten into a fight or maybe a yelling match or anything.
I've never
like
been
that?
in a
Not
fight
even
in my
worth it.
life.
Even if I liked a boy and my friend liked him,
No.
that was enough grounds to back off. I didn't
Wow.
need a gun to be involved or marriage to be involved at
No.
all.
No.
No, I don't think that's any typical 16-year-old.
No.
Well, because high school, I remember girls and
You-
guys being just as stupid, but doing crazy stuff when somebody was after their guy or gal, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be.
It's all insecurity.
The guys would
You
trash a
car.
car.
Yeah, I mean, just
Kia,
some-
especially.
exactly.
That was the big one.
In a Carrie
Yeah.
Underwood song, who keyed your car? Who keyed your car?
Right?
I never got
Yeah,
it.
go ahead, call them crazy. Those crazy girls. Okay?
Yeah.
Think about that.
I said girls and
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the details about the guys.
Well, guess what? Speaking of guys, who put
He's
her
crazy.
back on the track? Amy Fisher. Guess what? Your manager and husband.
That's right.
Get
That's
back
right.
into
That's
effing
true.
rehab.
That's
That's
right.
true.
Dumb woman.
Let's just watch everything we say here for a second.
Yeah. But she went back, which
She
was
did.
huge.
She did.
So then she's smart.
Fine, I retract my statement.
The views
You
expressed herein are
dumb-
those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you,
You
Jesse.
dumb addict.
There you,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of
There you go,
retraction,
good.
it was nice that they retracted those 5 cameras from up her ass.
I know. That was very generous of them.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
I know she's been in adult films, but I don't
Yeah,
think they've been that far.
I'm one of those
No.
people who really has an issue with the overuse of the word literally because it's become not
Oh, I know.
literally anymore.
Literally,
And so she literally had 10 cameras up her ass. Wow, she must be really in
Oh,
demand in the
goodness.
adult film world.
I hope they're lipstick
She
cams.
is.
That must be a big booty.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't even want to think about that so graphically.
You can't. You
But
can't,
yes,
you can't
she
film
did
me.
have
Well,
ten
we
Yeah,
know
I'm
she
no
doesn't do
longer in there.
vaginal.
Oh, right.
so-
No. So when she's out on the street,
Yeah, you can't film me because I've left the show. You can't.
I'm not doing your stupid show.
No, you're on a public street
We can film you
where
all
there's no
we want.
expectation of
I know.
privacy.
Yeah.
You signed a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a trigger for her, you know? She
Yeah.
has issues
Well,
with paparazzi.
I don't know if it really is a trigger. I think that was just a convenient
An
thing.
avoidance.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
think it was.
Yeah, that could be.
Because, if it was a trigger for her, she would have had it the first day.
And also,
Yeah.
now she's in film, in adult
Adult film.
films.
Yeah,
So there's
But
cameras
she has to
everywhere.
get, apparently she has to get looped before she does it.
Who
And looped,
doesn't?
By the way, looped. I said looped. I didn't say.
I was gonna, yeah.
Both,
Yeah.
probably.
Well, okay.
Didn't you think it was fascinating that she'd only been doing it for 6 months?
Yeah.
I would have thought she was in it for 10 years. I mean, not that
Yeah.
I would know, but I just,
Well-
okay, maybe
Well, the
I
way
was-
she speaks
6
of
months
it.
in porn is really 10 years in.
And yeah.
It's like dog years.
Oh.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
But
Definitely.
regardless, I mean, just the way she speaks of it, of like, okay, how have you survived before this?
Right.
This is my only new means of
Yeah, that's
employment. This is
true.
how I need to make. Well, what?
Yeah, it's
what
not
was-
like you've only been out of jail for 6 months.
Yeah. What have
Yeah,
you been doing? Selling
exactly.
ice cream? That doesn't seem like a bad gig.
No one buys it from her. They know who she is.
Yeah.
They don't because she's had so much plastic surgery. I would never recognize
I wouldn't
her.
recognize her in a million years.
And that's the thing about the media. It's like it was a big deal, but then everyone forgot about it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't affect them.
Right.
Which also sucks, but
Well,
not
you have
for
to
her
put
case.
on an application. You have to put you've committed a felony, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes,
That-
you
Oh,
do.
yeah,
Or at
you
least you
do.
did. You
Well,
did.
And if you've
I
been
was-
to
I applied for a
prison,
job.
yeah.
I'm in trouble.
Convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
convicted.
to.
But I mean,
oh, yeah.
you know, I don't. At the same time, I don't know. Speaking to the other point, like how much that hinders you.
I think
know?
maybe she's more like embarrassed about it.
Because I would think that there would be some employees, I don't know who they were,
Employers.
employers, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
who would actually
Of course,
want
they would.
her to be.
There are employment
I'm not kidding
agencies
ya.
who help place felons for one of
Yeah.
former felons, and there are jobs
This is
where
a
they
classic
will take
case.
people.
You don't think reality TV would be all over Amy Fisher being on a television
I
show?
mean, to talk about a more, common job.
Yeah, but
she certainly could get,
absolutely.
maybe not in customer service at the front desk of, whatever, but
maybe at a gun show.
She could get.
She could work
No?
at McDonald's
Too
in the
soon?
back
Too
making burgers.
soon.
What's that?
She could work at a burger place and fast food joint and be making the stuff in the back.
Right.
No
I like
problem
the
with
ice
that.
cream. I like the ice
Anywhere
cream
where
thing.
there's not a gun
Right.
helps. Maybe the
is
shooting
there
range.
a song Amy's got a gun?
Yes.
Jamie's
Janie's
got a
okay.
gun.
Okay.
Jamie.
But there. Okay.
But you could, I guess, switch that name.
Sorry, Amy.
Anyway, she leaves, and I was just like, I love it. Each season, you have how many we have? We have 2 or 3 people that actually leave, and 1 or 2 come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the first one. Say, go, just go.
Oh, and it looks like the next episode's going to be intense. It looked like Steven was saying that she didn't have a valid enough reason for being there, which is always really cool to watch.
Yeah.
Just someone just
I'm worse than you.
invalidates someone else.
Right.
Yeah, the other side of I'm special.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
'Cause you're not.
I'm way more screwed up than you.
Yeah, you don't even deserve
Does
it.
anybody find it interesting that Sean? Did she say a word?
No.
She said, I feel tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Otherwise,
Yeah, she
No,
was.
nothing. She
we were
wasn't.
Seanless today.
We were pretty
Well,
much
because Bai Ling
shameless.
got on the roof.
Right.
Bai Ling
And
got
that's
on
what
the
happened.
roof.
I did. When we saw it in the previews last week for this week, I pretty much figured she was talking about going back to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
exactly.
girl's, yeah, she has some magical thinking going on.
She does that magical thing.
She's
yeah.
sending
She has
some
her own
waves
I'm going to the
up.
moon. She's got her own little language.
Well, the lighter
she's
she
kind of
is-
bilingual. Hey, there you go.
Hey.
Hey.
There she is.
Whoa. So my theory is the lighter she is, right? If she gets negative weight, she will be able to float up to the
Yes.
moon.
To the moon.
And go back home.
Yeah.
She'll be helium.
That's so true.
Yeah. So she can't eat.
It all makes sense.
I
She just
see.
doesn't know how to explain it.
No.
Right.
Well, I just did it for her. So
That's
Yeah.
right.
world,
Thank
there
God.
you
should
go.
you
It's
should
all
talk
that
to her.
neurology.
It is all
Okay,
that neurology.
so she's taking a little
training.
thing off on me, and I'm already going, oh, please, come on.
And
Yeah.
that was exactly what they showed in all the previews.
By the way, you know what would've been
that was
fun?
it.
You know what would be fun if they really kind of slowed the pace down and played some nice do music as she's kind of going about her
Yeah, that'd
day.
be great. She hides it. her
Not the
little
dramatic.
thing.
Yes.
No.
And then she's going in and out of this door.
With
They're
more
coming around. It
cartoon,
was like,
sort of.
Marx Brothers or something.
That was really fun. And then everyone's like, where is she? Where is she?
Where's
and
Bai
then
Ling?
from behind the roof, she like
Yeah.
rises
Yeah.
up. That was
That's a
so
great
they
shot,
should
actually.
definitely figure out the music for that one.
Re-edit it and put some new music. I
That's
can help
it.
you out
Yeah,
over
we should
there if
absolutely.
you want.
Also, then they made it seem like she like jumped maybe. But
Yeah, it was
Ooh.
a
To be
cliffhanger.
continued.
and it seems just like a 1-story facility. Like I know that
Yeah.
you can probably do some damage.
I don't
But
know, you have
like-
to do like a
Well, if you-
swan
if
dive
you-
on your neck or
Yeah.
If you're as
something.
fragile as she is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she may have just taken a header.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I think we should probably go to commercial at this point
Absolutely.
and talk some more in a minute.
Let's do it.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig! The wig will come out. That wig.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Oh, yeah.
What does this have to do with
Yeah.
rehab?
Next
no
time you want to
idea.
go and leave, just go ahead and do it.
It's called I Checked Into Rehab.
okay.
Is it really? Nice. I love that.
And who sings this, for those of you who want to know?
Rihanna and Justin Timberlake.
All right, so check it out on iTunes.
There it is.
There
As you
we go.
download
Along
our
with the
pod.
AfterBuzz podcast.
Exactly. So Jesse has a little bit of gossip for us.
Ooh.
It's relatively odd. So
Ooh.
give it to us,
A
Jesse.
little bit of gossip.
Just that one, the one that I put brackets around.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So yes, Bai Ling has herself one mixed up feline. It's a hybrid of a cheetah and a domestic house cat. We're trying to decide which scenario is more plausible. Genetic breeding or the cheetah eating the house cat after it sperminated her. However it happened, the point is it did. And Bai Ling just loves her little feline friend
Kiji, I think. is the name.
to pieces. And Kiji may just be ripping Bai Ling to pieces if she
Herself.
isn't careful. She insists that the $30,000 cat is in no way a wild danger, but she does mention how the cat can get a little too close for comfort, saying, quote, "I sleep naked. She was kissing me, and suddenly she woke up. She saw my nipple, and oh my god, she went for it." Bai Ling says, laughing, "If I wasn't fast, my nipple is gone. She thought it was a toy or something."
Okay, so it's just a little more,
How do you read that serious
into
first
the
off?
crazy world of Bai Ling.
What are you doing, Bai Ling?
Because I think she borders on like cuckoo.
Good one, huh, Jess?
What do you mean borders on it?
Well, because it could all just be PR crap.
That's true.
I just need to stay out there in the public eye, so I'll come up with this crazy crap. I'll go up on the roof.
Well, someone has to pay for
Whatever.
that $30,000
$30,000
cat.
Exactly.
You better love it.
I don't, wish I knew who she was, or we knew somebody who knew her. But it just seems like either she's crazy or she's Michael Owen. She just wants to be in front of cameras.
I don't know. I think she's got some real problems. I think there's a lot of magical thinking going on there, and it's aided by her drug use, her, not taking care of herself, not eating for 3 days. That's going to create a whole other set of problems. Yeah.
So I wonder if she even had any water.
Yeah.
No.
You got some water.
She was just in her room. Someone's got to get her water. Phil needs to drink more water too.
Make you think weird.
Yeah.
I'll drink
so
some water
Someone's
right
after
now.
those cups.
I'll drink to that. Here.
Well, I'll drink out of my 2 cups.
So
My double fister.
That was good.
I'd love to say Bai Ling.
Bai Ling. Yeah. So that's really
Michelle
all I have for the
Macedo is
gossip
double
this week.
fisting it for those of you watching
Okay.
video right now.
All right.
So
Oh,
messed up right now.
that just sounds so wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh God.
And that was our AfterBuzz TV
That was
news.
that was our news and gossip. Yeah.
All right.
I didn't think we could handle any more after
Ooh.
that.
No, we can't.
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
All right, John, you look like you're ready to say something.
I predict Bai Ling survives whatever trauma that ensues coming off the roof.
With the roof
Yeah.
incident.
And she will again become or try to be a special case. She'll hurt
In whatever
herself.
way.
Here's
Try
the-
and leave.
That's a good
Exactly.
prediction.
I'm predicting Jeremy Jackson
Yes.
Who we
because
didn't see much
we
today.
didn't really-
Yeah.
but at least he
But he
connected
had
with
a
Amy.
connection with Amy. Yeah.
Yes.
So we know he's an athlete and he's a rock climber. There's that one specific shot that I remember he's rock climbing. And so he will come to the rescue
He'll climb up the roof.
and he will, at the last minute, grab her
Ooh.
heroically
Yes.
and pull her back.
Because he's so strong and she
Good.
weighs 46 pounds.
And he's so, and he's a rock climber.
Okay.
I think Amy Fisher this will drive Amy Fisher to confess her love to Bai Ling, and then they'll run away together.
Oh, by the way, something we didn't talk about is Doc drinking bottled water. 'Cause that
Oh
can-
yeah, that could lead to bisexuality.
Well,
and there
they're
was that weird
sharing a
moment
room.
as soon as Jeremy Jackson found out that he's getting a roommate,
Yeah.
guy or girl. Oh, I better clean my room.
What? That dude, I love his method of cleaning. Just
He
throwing his
throws
crap from
it.
one
Throws
side of the
crap
bed
on
to the
his
other.
side, yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting because it's 2 semi-athletes together in a room. That's going to be.
Oh, he's not
yeah.
that. Well,
Doc is a legitimate athlete. I don't know. what
Jeremy-
Well,
mean,
yeah, there's
he's
a
an
legitimate
actor.
athlete and a bodybuilder.
Right.
Let's call it that.
Well, yeah.
and more of an
Yeah,
athlete.
he's
He's not-
super.
He's more of a bodybuilder than a bodybuilder.
You're right. That's true.
And
That's
by the way,
true.
for those of you who couldn't tell, John
Yeah.
made 2 movements
He
of
was-
shooting up and
Oh.
then pushing weights.
Doing- Yeah.
Exactly.
pushing
But,
weights out into the sky.
What else do we? Well, we got the last member, right?
Oh, right, the gal from Survivor.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Survivor
yeah.
Survivor. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is.
I don't know who that is either, but apparently she got kicked off Survivor because she tried to hurt herself.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like after Survivor or Survivor that did anything. She just always,
She was already in bad
yeah.
shape to begin with.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And now she gets paid for it.
She wasn't on the roster when I was originally figuring out who was on the show.
Oh wow! They brought
so
her-
I don't know
Well,
if maybe
I bet,
she
well,
was.
wasn't there somebody who didn't show up who was supposed to?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that was the. I remember.
So she was a
hearing somebody-
replacement rehab.
She was a
replacement rehabber.
She's a replacement.
Anybody? Hey! Anybody need to go to rehab because we got a room.
She's on
Anybody?
the B list
Anyone?
for celebrity rehab.
Oof.
Ouch.
That's gotta sting.
Even for Survivor.
So, all right.
Any other predictions?
No.
Anybody?
Tammy, do you have one?
Well, we have what is it? Roommate? I don't know. Michael Lohan gets mad because I forget. I believe it's Amy Fisher or someone says that this is like jail. And
Yeah.
Michael
Oh,
Lohan
right.
says this is
Don't
nothing
you?
like.
Yeah.
By the way, real quickly, unless you want to do it,
yes, let's
Tammy, I was
talk-
gonna
no,
say
go
if you guys are on the air and listening to us, and you have problems of your own, get Maria Menouza's Every Girl's Guide to Life. It's not just for girls; it's for guys. It'll help you with
it's a great
problems. It won't help
And-
you with sobriety, but help
It
you with
might.
health.
But
But
other
you do
areas
have
of your life will
problems.
absolutely be improved by that. So yes, get Maria's book. It's on the New York Times bestseller list, as it should be, and it's definitely worth a read. So I think that's it for today,
That's
right,
it.
everybody?
We hope we helped you guys.
Yeah,
Rehab.
here's to Celebrity Rehab. Thanks for joining us.
So
We'll see
And you know what?
next week. Oh, yeah?
It's interesting how the smart this show is. So if you have questions, comments, suggestions, any tips of your own for sobriety, we do want to make it kind of a half-serious show.
Any
serious,
neurological
yes.
questions?
Yes, just let us
Direct
know at
towards Phil.
Facebook us, tweet us, or info@AfterBuzzTV.
TV.com.
Yes.
Right on.
Thank you.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Sober up later. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.